obviously the Bucks want to repeat, and they think they have the tools to do it. But Tommy B came out and said, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! Let's pump the brakes, Bucks fans, because it's tough. It's tough to go back to back in Super Bowls. It's not the easiest thing in the world. And I think Tom Brady, the only time he did it was 2003 to 2004. Was
Yeah,
when he
yeah.
was with the Patriots, and they went back to back. He says that it's such a tough thing to do, and the reasons that he kind of outlined in it really made sense to me. You know, Obviously being a new season, that brings new challenges that weren't there before. Other teams have different adjustments to that team that will make them more competitive. And it's not like they had an easy road to get to the Super Bowl. You can argue in that NFC Championship games, a couple defensive adjustments made by the Packers there,
Right.
and who knows how that game ends up. So you're going to have teams making those kind of adjustments where they got burned the years before, and putting in new schemes. And who knows, there's always that one offensive scheme that's new, fresh, that gets put in every year by one team, and it's like, oh, works very well for the first couple weeks until teams start to figure it out. But you add something like that into the mix, you could have potential trouble with teams down the road that with schemes that you may not be too familiar with or have seen. But another thing that he did mention, Nick, was the marketing opportunities that come with winning a Super Bowl.
Uh,
Maybe for some guys
I
that
bet
are
he
less
did.
known. Yeah, I mean, especially for the guys that are not a superstar status that
Yeah.
get like the great endorsement deals, but I'm talking the ones that get the car dealership deals, the local Tampa Bay ads that you see in any big market and stuff like that. And with that, obviously, you do have a little bit of a focus shift away from football, and not to say that that's going to be the ultimate thing, because obviously I think we're seeing now that players can do more than just play football when it comes down to it. But that is a little wrinkle in this that makes it tough to repeat Super Bowl wins.
Yeah, it's right there. It makes me think, the question that I find myself asking is Thomas Brady having these conversations in the locker room as well because he feels a sense of maybe a Super Bowl hangover going on? Is he trying to get out ahead of this a little where he's like, look, I'm going to come out and say this publicly. I've been saying it behind the scenes to the guys on this team like, guys, I know we started hitting our stride at the end of the year. I know we played well. We get to the Super Bowl as I think the fifth seed in the NFC. We go win the whole thing, but this is we have to be ready. We were hungry last year. We wanted it last year. And I'm
Yeah.
not seeing what I need to be seeing right now at these early workouts and things like that. Maybe he's noticing a little bit of that Super Bowl hangover. He's kind of looking around the league and being like, guys, oh, okay, wait a second here. Like a lot of these teams are getting better. Like this is a serious thing. We have a good team here. We have veterans here, but
Yep.
don't think for a second that this is all of a sudden going to be some walk in the park. Look at the NFC West. The Packers have gotten better. If Aaron Rodgers is back, the Packers have gotten better. Most of the
Yep.
NFC West has gotten better. The Dak
Yep.
Prescott's back in Dallas. I think he's looking around and go, and what if Jameis Winston is the guy in New Orleans? That's in your
Yeah.
division.
Yep.
Like, I think he's looking around and he definitely sees the writing on the wall of like, yeah, we do not look as sharp as I was hoping at this point because, if we're not going to be as hungry as some of these other teams, I mean, who
Yeah.
knows?
And, and the other aspect of that's actually a really good point, Nick. Is he having this conversation? Did he come out and say this publicly to make sure those guys are like, because a lot of those guys probably haven't won a Super Bowl before. So
Yep.
now they've won. It's not so much of like, oh, we're hungry type of thing. But now it's like, oh, yeah, we just did it. We climbed the mountaintop. Let's do it again. Not really knowing how difficult that is. And
Yep.
then to have a guy like, Tomas come out and say, guy, it's not an easy thing. And here's why, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure that intentionally, unintentionally called a lot of guys out to what they were doing or working on this off season,
Yep.
you know, where it might have taken some focus away from the game of football. Where if you're trying to do that, you brought entirely the whole team back. You want to be able to go into the NFL season really hitting the ground full steam. and it might have, brought a lot of guys back to reality. Well, there goes gravity. Well, there goes Rabbit. Type of energy back into that Bucks organization, which I think for them is, it's definitely a smart veteran move on Brady's part, and it probably does get a couple guys, if a couple guys refocus, because they're seeing that article that's coming out.
Oh yeah.